Okay, so we don't know, but we're right now we're looking at 96, 97.
Yes.
Okay, that's what we're looking at.
Yes,
so you do
yes.
this one New Year's apparently, and that's the one that.
So we're doing at this point we're doing the long weekend edition every long weekend.
Yes,
and then we're doing the New Year's.
But
party.
then would you say that there's this one New Year's party that kind of was the jump off, and that became. Then all of a sudden, now you're dealing with a monster. Now the Beat Matrix, the LWE, is a monster.
Yeah. Well, the LWE was just successful to start because we were able to sell advance tickets for a party.
And you had those at numerous venues, or
like Aluminum Planet.
No, I'm saying the actual party itself. Or were they always at the Capitol?
No,
because you had them at numerous. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah,
Capitol. I don't think long weekends really even happen at the Capitol.
You guys just had a night there.
Embassy,
Friday.
yeah, exactly. Fridays.
Embassy
Fridays.
was Fridays there, but you had the LWE at
Embassy almost exclusively. So
I remember that. Yeah.
Well, why we did that was because we were able to have 2 floors.
The Embassy.
So
PJ could be on the main floor,
and then Gummy and I played the basement,
downstairs.
which is traditionally where you would find a Caribbean party. It's a basement party. So we just
right.
So we just played off of the idea that we had this basement party, and we were just tickled pink that there was a club that we knew the club owners and management, or they knew enough about the show to trust us to do
your thing,
right?
Yeah.
We were lucky in that the people who were listening to the show and would buy advance tickets were not necessarily, violent around the room or anything like that. So we were able to get past a lot of the negative stereotypes that people would have expected for an urban
crowd,
not just an urban crowd with a reggae crowd.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then once you guys came on, like you guys would play the rooftop. Like there was so much about this room.
Seriously.
That you had 3 sounds in this 400 or 500 person space.
For sure. I'm forever indebted to the Embassy.
Same here. Like that is when I said it really just did springboard everything that we were doing.
Certainly.
Beyond that. So across the street now, PJ is able to find the restaurant, the Capitol, and convinces them that him and John Spade are going to do their weekends and are going to double up in essence what they're doing on their lunch times and whatever else with this nightclub money. And that became an instant hit as well too. It was like the first real, for lack of a better term, New York style club where you had to get dressed up to come out, and we were not.
But even the club itself, like the decor of it, was much different from the traditional Calgary.
It had the waterfall.
Club.
Yeah, it was fly.
But you have to remember, in 1995 or 1996, that was a high end club.
That's right.
Well, the Embassy and I think the Capitol both kind of ushered in that kind of higher, because if you look at it, like the clubs previously in the 90s were CJ's. Electric Ave.
And bar halls with,
and the Taz.
And all those places were shitholes.
Yeah, like where you come in and you can smell the beer.
That's and the puke.
And it felt like the Embassy was the first one that tried to be like a legitimate nightclub, right? And
it did.
The Capitol kind of.
But the thing about the Capitol was that it was in Gulf Canada Square.
That's right.
So even the walk up to it, because at the Embassy you just parked in that side. If anyone,
across the street,
the Embassy is on 9th Avenue. Right off of 4th Street. And before they had that beautiful building there beside the Calgary Parking Authority, it was a parking lot, and there was a Nellie's Breaks the Fast cafe on the top or beside it. And the Embassy, it was in an older building.
Yeah.
But they had just redone the inside.
Yeah.
As opposed to the Capitol, it was already in Gulf Canada Square. It was already a nice property.
Yeah.
So, I mean, the Embassy inside definitely had a nicer decor.
Yeah.
But the Capitol,
the vibe felt more.
You know what I mean? Because you walked up and it's like those stone steps, and then
I just remember
you can't park in front.
When you
guys had to park in Bankers Hall, that costed $8.
You guys had the party, like the reunion party, like last year, with PJ at Vagabond or whatever, and Sensei was there, and. Like, me and my wife were walking up. We parked the car, and she's younger, right? So she wasn't really there for the Capitol years so much. So we get out of the car, and we see basically it's like all the old people from the Capitol, just coming. But the difference is now, instead of them being 18, they're now between 35 and 45, right? But they're all still dressed to the nines. She's like, why are they all wearing blazers and evening gowns. I'm like, that's how it used to be.
Yo, that's what we had to do.
You had to do to go to the.
You could not get into the club unless you dressed up.
Yeah,
and we'd always try to stretch the envelope by like, yo, B, do you think these black Jordans will? Do you think these black? Like, do you think these will pop? Like, nah, man. Timbs are good, right? Like, those are kind of like dressy. Nah, man.
Yeah. No, so I credit PJ and the room and those guys for a lot of that stuff, and a lot of doors open for us too. Like, we had gotten involved with the record pools more.
Right.
I was actually one of the first guys who was doing Universal Music rep.
Right.
I was actually on their roster, so they would fly me out and stuff like that, and I was able to get all links to the artists and the records and all the stuff that
you'd play on the Groove.
Yeah, well,
and that's how you got.
Absolutely.
That's how
there was no blog.
No, but that's what I'm saying. Like,
there was no MP3.
No.
You have to remember, like, so you're the host and you're this representative of Universal Canada. Like, you're the one getting service. You're basically mastermind of Calgary at that point.
Sure.
100%. As a listener and as a fan, we're like, how does he get all that new stuff?
Right.
Oh, he has the new Babyface. Yeah. I didn't even know Babyface
had a track. Exactly.
He has the new. I've never heard of A+.
Yeah, no, every Tuesday I would make the rounds. So this is where the record labels, the 5 majors, had a representative in Calgary. Each one of them had a representative in Calgary. So Tuesdays you'd go. It was either Warner, EMI, then you go to BMG, Universal Music, and Universal you wanted to be on because they had all of the imprints that we care about, the Def Jams.
Yeah. Interscopes,
exactly, right? Like, I remember I specifically remember the day I went in and I got Eminem's I Just Don't Give an F.
Right.
And it was just a silhouette of this dude, I Just Don't Give an F. So, of course, you're like, okay, cool, we know it's a hip-hop record, give it to me, it's on vinyl.
Right.
And I spun the thing and I was like, yo, this is the craziest lyrics I've ever heard. And we spun the thing over and over. I wish I had that show. And then the week after, we find out that it's this white kid from Detroit.
Right.
We lost our minds.
That's crazy.
Lost our minds. Yeah, it was nuts. But it was just that. We literally went directly to, and they knew I was just on their phones all the time. And once I was able to get the Universal banner behind me, then it made it a little bit easier because now I was an industry head as well.
Right.
So then,
more connects.
We were able to put more stuff at the station. There were other shows that were popping up.
Right. Adds a level, another like layer of credibility to your promotions and all that stuff. So.
And then it became, in my head, I was just like, well, can I really do this? Like, okay, It's great. I'm doing this hustle thing, but you're growing up now.
Right.
Like, what are you going to do? A lot of people know you in town. There's money to be made if you continue to do this, but at the end of the day, like, can I sustain myself doing that? And this is where it kind of branched because PJ, like, Gummy's dream was always to produce music.
Right.
So he went to school for that.
Yeah.
PJ would tell you, and you can ask him, he'd tell you from the time he was 16 doing his first part, he always wanted to open a pub.
Right.
Which he's clearly gone on to do.
He's done all right. Yeah.
And then for me, it was, well, I've turned into this voice now. And this is why I was really shy about it, because I was this accented kid from
Trinidad.
From Trinidad. Like, you're not expecting that guy to be your source for hip-hop and R&B.
Right.
I just happen to be a real fan of the music.
Right.
I'll play it. So I ended up just... through Mysoon again. She literally was like, well, you should actually take the broadcasting program. I'm like, is a broadcasting program university? She said, no, it's at SAIT.
Right.
There's one at Mount Royal, one at SAIT. But she said, go to the SAIT, it's more hands-on, and they actually pick people from that program to go on to... No, in my head, I'm still going, okay, great. At least I'll have some documentation to say that but no one's hiring this voice.
Right.
No one's hiring this voice.
Yeah.
Right? Maybe
you still felt that way, even though the program, even though the Groove was so popular, and it was in spite of everything.
Absolutely, because it was still very niche, right? The beauty of it, when you think about
you're trying to think of like broader reach,
right? When you think about servicing a niche, I'm servicing maybe 1,000 people that want to come out to party, which means there's probably 2,000 people listening.
Right.
The city at that time was 750,000 people.
Right.
Okay, what are the chances of me coming and saying, hey, everybody, I'm the best thing for you because 1,000 of your 750,000 potential listeners, right? I was not...
I was
just very real about what
it's very self-aware of...
It is, but I'm just rewinding to that time. Like in 2000, yes, I thought that. Like, I mean, I felt that way too, but at the same time, I always looked at the talent, the actual talent itself.
Well, okay,
you know what I mean.
Well,
so
if that's a compliment, thank you.
I'm not because in hindsight, yeah, in 2050, we're gonna definitely think that way. But in 2000, you're not. 2000 and 2001, 2002.
I don't know, man. Like,
I definitely know for sure. In 2001, 2002, I was like, I looked more at the talent.
Right.
I was like, no, I think he could. I think that could work, especially now. Like, look at how much he's reached.
Right.
Look how much he's reached at that point.
For you, absolutely. But I think what Drew's alluding to is the fact that the world outside of his niche isn't ready for The Voice.
No, and I agree with that.
I was very aware of even all of the rooms that we were able to book, all the parties that we were able to do. I still had to explain to everybody who was a person in power, I put that in quotes,
right,
what it was we were doing. If you're a club owner, if you were an advertiser, if you're anything, I had to explain to them what it was. We're not this thuggish thing that you're thinking about.
No, right, a fight.
Like, you always have to do
the
that.
Eternal fight, yeah.
The eternal, like, it still goes on today,
100%.
Right? But more so than that, too, you would hear... especially one of the first things I learned the first year in school, they were talking about with regards to advertisers. Advertisers are looking for people with money.
Right.
Okay? Now, there's a huge shift that's happened paradigm-wise today.
For sure.
Whereas you want to deal with millennials who will throw away money at anything.
Yeah.
I'll spend $400 on a pair of shoes because Jordan happened to look at them.
Yeah, and I need to
look fresh. Exactly.
I need to Instagram it.
Right, whereas back then you're like, no, unless these people are a stable job and this, that, and the other, these are the people who are in the cars. They don't want to advertise to 16 to 21. They want 25 to 35 is their ultimate pocket.
Right.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
So, first of all, I'm on like the edge of that. And I'm definitely dealing with the youngers.
Right.
Right. And then I'm dealing with the traditional advertisers are going to be like, well, you know, we run car ads and we run supermarket ads. And are these people going to buy that stuff? No, we don't want that. So these are the things that I learned in advertising side of things.
For sure.
So as much as I went through it, I made the shift in my mind. I said, you know what? I can do this where I can service the niche and at least take the education I'm getting here to make my niche better. I can service this 1,000 people as though it were 750,000. Do the best that I possibly can to make that work for me.
Right.
That's how I looked at it. So I
was very
just
self-aware. Because at this time you're what?
21.
Yeah, for a 21-year-old to be that kind of aware of...
Wait, what year is this?
Of the fact that you don't fit in? Come on, man.
But you know what I'm saying?
But like, we all knew we didn't fit in.
That's what I'm saying. Like, you know it. That's you just know it.
The fact of not like being aware that you're not fitting in, but understanding the scheme of where you don't fit in the world as far as the advertising and that for a 21-year-old, to me, I think that's pretty advanced thinking.
I think if you attempt to hustle, right? If your first attempt is to hustle, whatever you're hustling, when I say hustle, I mean the proper term is sales.
Right.
Right? Hustling just gets thrown onto any entrepreneur doing whatever, but it's sales.
Yeah.
You very quickly find out, if I walk up, like this is sales, if I walk up to a group of 5 girls and go, hey ladies, what's up? And they're all, who the hell are you?
Yeah.
You have failed in your sales pitch.
Absolutely, yeah.
Right? So very quickly, me saying to a group of 5 girls, here's my flyer that's an 8.5 by 11 and printed on whatever, and come out with your fresh selves to our party, and they don't show up.
Yeah.
Very quickly you realize you've failed.
Right.
So then it just keeps that process going. We're saying if it works, what do I keep refining to make it so I can get these honeys to come to the dance?
Right.
And that's just where it had always been and continues to be. So and then now I'm saying, okay, I've got a forum with a radio.
Right.
And my mother's listening, and my neighbor potentially can trip onto the station. Then all of a sudden, this filter goes through your head, and you're going, okay,
okay,
who am I talking to?
Right.